Hello class 7 student. Today with a face-to-face interaction I am going to discuss about the next video. In this next video about the next Mughal emperor, that is Jahangir. In a previous video we discussed about that is Akbar, and Jahangir ruled over India from 1605 to 1627, that is Christian era. Jahangir's original name was Salim, Prince Salim. He was the eldest son of Akbar. So definitely in the form of hierarchical activity, hierarchy, that is from the father, the throne will go to the son. So he ascended the throne of Delhi and he became the fourth Mughal ruler amidst the rebellion and plotting by his own son Khusrau. He assumed the name of Jahangir. Now, as I have mentioned that as in a throne, as he is that he became the fourth Mughal ruler. Who had the previous three Mughal ruler? Jahangir, then Akbar, then Humayun, then before Babur. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, and Prince Salim. That is Jahangir. So, ascending the throne, his first activity he did was to control his rebellious son Khusrau. You see, father became the king and his son fought against his own father. When Jahangir was informed that the Sikh Guru Arjan Dev had aided Khusrau in his rebellion, he was engaged and imposed a fine on the Guru. Arjan Dev refused to pay the fine. Furious at the disobedience, Jahangir had Arjan Dev executed. Executed means Jahangir killed Arjan Dev. This execution of the fifth Guru Arjan Dev sparked off a long and bitter struggle between the Sikh and the Mughal. So this was the thing. It was not a matter of that. When the fine was not paid, when imposed, and it was not paid, it was not good for this. So these are certain small lacking administrative activity power, showing of the power by the Mughal rulers. And finally the later Mughal ruler, as a consequence, when the British came to India and took over the Indian subcontinent. Till then, Jahangir, at the time of Akbar, British first came to India to do trade. This thing you will understand in class 8 and also detail in class 9. When Akbar was there, a delegate, that is a person, Sir Thomas Roe, who came to India with a petition of the Queen to get some privileges, that is the East India Company. So in this way, foreign influences and interaction was also there during the Jahangir's period. A number of Europeans like the Portuguese, the British, and the Dutch had begun to make their presence felt in India and other countries bordering the Indian Ocean. The first and foremost objectives of this European, Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, was to do trade with India and earn huge profit from India. They used to take some product from India, that is spices, condiments, like clothes, fine types of clothes were there, and handicraft artifacts were taken by these European traders and were sold in high price in the European market, thus earning huge profit. Also, India was earning in gold and silvers. As their economic interests began to clash, the Portuguese started attacking Mughal ships. When the economic interests began to clash, what was the economic interest? They were interested in taking the administration of the country. They were thinking that they wanted to take the country for their own, ruling over it and do the business for their own. So in this way, the Portuguese attacked Mughal ships. To retaliate and put a check on them, Jahangir began to support their rivals, the British and the Dutch, in 1608. There was a person, Captain William Hawkins. He was the person who came to India with a petition letter of King Henry to get certain trade privilege with India. And in this way they were So Captain William Hawkins first met Mughal Emperor Jahangir at Surat with a letter from King James I of Great Britain to the European to the emperor, that is requesting permission to trade. So in this way, day by day, year by year, the Europeans were sending petitions from the king or queen to get more privileges, trade privileges. So in this way, they were getting trade privilege in India. Then again, Sir Thomas Roe was sent by James I as the British ambassador to the court of Jahangir. He stayed until 1618. He stayed for about 4 years in India. He did not succeeded in getting a formal treaty signed by his he received liberal trade consciousness for the British. That is concession, liberated concession. That means they were getting trade relation without giving extra tax to the Mughal kingdom. They were also allowed to set up a factory at Surat. Factory means putting some industrial setup at Surat. So Sir Thomas Roe laid a foundation for the British East India Company's trade. So it was after the trade that Thomas Roe came. So remember that Jahangir married Mehrun Nisa, and she was popularly named as Noor Jahan. Actually, she was the widow of Sher Afghan Jagirdar of Bengal. He made her his chief queen with the title of Noor Jahan, that is a light of the world. Noor Jahan acquired huge power from Jahangir, Mughal Emperor Jahangir, and influence over the king also, and he exerted her authority in all the matters of administration. She was doing any kind of administrative job in all the matters. She appointed her relatives and favorites to high position, and even had royal farmans. That means she could issue rules and regulations, farmans, orders, and coins issued in her names. So how the coins was issued? Jahangir issued many silver and gold coins, some bearing images only of him, and many with images of his wife Noor Jahan on the other side. So in this way, the ruling of Jahangir was prosperous, and during the last days of Jahangir wrote his autobiography called Tuzuk-e-Jahangir. He constructed a mausoleum for Akbar at Sikandra. Akbar, who was Akbar? His father. That means a memorial was constructed by Jahangir for his father. In 1622, his health declined. That means his health deteriorated. He became ill, and the unusual war of succession began. Again, after Jahangir, who came? The one of the emerged as the next ruler among his 3 survivors was Shah Jahan. So in this way, Jahangir's rule was ended, and he was the 4th Mughal emperor, and after 4th Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan became the new ruler, that is the 5th ruler of the Mughal empire. So Shah Jahan actually popularly given a title as a Mughal emperor, but his actual name was Khurram, Prince Khurram. So in the background they had their original name, like Akbar, Jalaluddin, then Jahangir, okay, Prince Salim, then Shah Jahan, Prince Khurram. In this way they had their own original name, but they have acquired the title of being the Mughal emperor. So in the next discussion of this lesson, we will discuss about Shah Jahan, and we will continue the discussion in the next video. Now the fact behind is that it is very difficult to make videos in this way, and also uploading this video into the online, because it is very difficult, and buying the data package, and in this crisis period, in the lockdown period. So I hope so you will understand the gravity of the situation, and you will watch the videos, and if you have any problem, any queries, you have your own time at the routine every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and you can ask me the question in regards to the videos. If you have any queries, just throw it out. If I am not able to answer you instantly with your question because of the data problem and the packages that I have borrowed to upload the videos from someone else. That is the data I have borrowed by taking the Wi-Fi or whatever it is. So whenever I am online, you just put the questions, and whenever I am online, I will have the question instantly. I will give you the replies. For the time being, thank you very much.